Good evening. My name is Deidrea McCray, and this evening we will discuss the importance of building healthy relationships between student and instructor. Now, before we begin, let's all stop and think back to a time where we were in a classroom setting as students, and we had this great relationship with our instructor. Didn't it feel great to know that you had an environment in which you could feel supported? Well, today we're going to discuss the importance of this between both student and instructor. Now, first, let's start with the basics. Why is it important that we build a healthy relationship between student and instructor? Building a trusting relationship between the student and instructor is very important to the success of both the classroom and the success of the student. Having this relationship allows the student to feel comfortable in the classroom environment. The student knows that if at any time they need any type of assistance or help from their instructor, they're welcome. The student will also perform better in an environment in which they feel the support from their instructor. Now, not only is it important for the instructor to provide a great relationship to the student, but the student must do the same. If the instructor trusts their student, they know that they can depend on that student. They know that this student will always be honest and dependable in any manner. Knowing that they can rely on the student creates an atmosphere that assists in the educational journey of the student. Now, there are many practices that we as instructor, there are many things that we can practice as instructor to make sure that we create a healthy relationship and rapport with learners in the classroom. For one, as adult learners, many of our classroom setting is online. So the instructors of online students take advantage of the tools that you have. Take advantage of the resources that are readily available to you. In the online environment, take advantage of technology. Tools such as Zoom, which is a video conferencing software, it can be used to connect the student with the instructor. Content created by the instructor that establishes expectations of the classroom setting are very important when trying to create this relationship between student and instructor. Create platforms that allows the student to show their personal side. Creating forums in which the student and instructor can connect and talk and discuss helps to build this relationship and builds a bond between the student and the instructor. Ask questions. It's very important that the instructor ask questions of their students to get to know more about their students. Asking questions and requesting information about their interests helps to build a strong bond between both student and instructor. The methods I just listed, using online tools, using technology, creating platforms, all of these methods can be used to increase the level of satisfaction of the student, which can leads to a successful classroom environment. Now, how can we as instructors learn about the needs and interests of our students? The number one tool that I feel for this is to ask questions. What better way to learn about someone than to ask questions? When instructors show interest in the personal lives of their students, this makes the student feel more comfortable. This also allows the student to build a trust or a bond with the instructor. going back to providing platforms, it's very important for the instructor to provide a platform and forums in which when the student can just share about their personal life, share information, share photos, share stories about their families. This will aid in the instructor learning about the interests of the student. Now, in the classroom environment, there are many students from many different backgrounds, and we all have different viewpoints. So, how can I properly address students when their viewpoint is different from my own? Well, first, it is important that I understand my bias. We all have biases, whether it's something that we grew up knowing or something that we learned in our own educational journey. We all have biases, and many we believe to be factual. But I first must establish what my bias is in that particular subject matter. Once I understand this, once I recognize this, I can now make sure that I don't allow this to cloud my judgment. When a student is giving their opinion on a particular subject matter, whether I agree or disagree, or whether I feel indifferent about it, I can realize that I stand on that I have a certain stance on this topic, and I won't allow it to sway me either left or right. We must always be open to the opinions of others. Our opinions aren't going to be the same, so we must have an open mind and accept what each other says. And we have to always remember that the information that students give us can be enlightening to both the instructor or the student. It can be knowledge that we've never heard of or information that we've never even thought of. So it's good for us to keep an open mind when someone presents a viewpoint that's different from our own. But in this, it is very important that the instructor provides an environment in which the students feel welcome enough to express their viewpoint. Allowing them to feel welcome in the environment enough to express their viewpoint creates a healthy classroom environment between both the student and the instructor. Now, in a world where there are many cultures and diversity worldwide, we must still be able to apply the Christian worldview in this setting. We must first recognize that each student has their own set of beliefs and characteristics that make them unique. No two students will be alike. Valuing the culture of the student contributes to their self-concept and academic success. When we as instructors show that we value their culture, this creates an inclusive environment. Allowing the students to feel included creates a healthy bond and makes them feel comfortable and loved in the classroom setting. Psalms 133:1 states, "How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity." And this should be our goal, to create an academic environment in which students and instructors can live together in unity. Thank you.